In a world of legendary moments will be captured. So stand up, scream, and make sure the boys feel you.
And the only thing else I got to say is, how about them Cowboys? Yeah!
Well, good evening, everybody. Game Time Brian, otherwise known as the Mailman, and my partner in crime, Primetime Phil. What's going on, Phil? How are you doing, buddy?
Doing well, man. Doing well. I am not anything like a mailman or anything. I'm just Primetime Phil, and trust me, that was not the original name that I came up with when I was coming in. I'm like, I'm gonna get a YouTube name. I'm gonna come up with it. I'm gonna like brand it, and then when you don't get to pick your own nicknames. Yeah, it was like Primetime Phil, and I'm like, well, I'll just turn with the skid, man, and I kind of rode with it since, and here I am, Primetime Phil, man.
Well, it's funny because I remember because Phil was established. He had done it. I don't know how many. Phil, how many videos you think you did?
That first?
Maybe 80. You mean I don't know
how many. I would say about 35, 40 of them or so. Yeah, I was still young into it.
Yeah, well, you did a bunch of, and then you're like, well, you need this, you need that, and it's very overwhelming. When people ask me, since I've been doing YouTube, like, well, all right, I want to get into it. Right now, everybody wants a YouTube channel.
Love the background.
Everybody thinks it's easy, right? Everybody thinks it's easy. But, I was actually on Mark Holmes's live stream and just in the chat, and I said, be a Primetime Phil. I like the enunciation. I'm like, I need something with 2 syllables. What will go good with? I wasn't thinking about myself at that point. I just needed to establish a name so I wasn't some schmo on Phil's channel. So I said, Game Time Brian. I like that. It's game time. What is it? It's friggin' game time. I got gnats in here. It's game time. So I threw it out there. I remember Mark going, Game Time Brian. And he put 2 and 2 together. Well, it seems to work.
Yeah, it looks good. It was good. And then especially people jumping on there with the Time Brothers and stuff. I was like, I like it, man. It kind of things just sometimes form together whether you think about it. I think that's kind of awesome with the fan base there. It's
What's up, Loyal? Listen, man, there's always, I probably could have, like you said, I'm sure there's something I could have came up with that would have been better. Yeah, again, I didn't put that much thought into it, but I liked Primetime Phil. I'm like, all right, Primetime and Game Time. We're doing a show together. This was before me going out by myself and having, I got a lot of pressure from Phil and Mark saying, oh, you got to do a channel. You got to do more. It'll help, both chat. I'm like, okay, I got overwhelmed because I used to be over at my small set. And Phil, like once I got 1 screen, I think, or 2 screens, Phil's like, yeah, well, you need more screens, You
need more screens.
And then I added a 3rd, and then a 4th, and now I got 5. And it's like, all right, and then I'm overwhelmed with this, and I got the OBS kind of down a little bit. But anyway, that's enough. I just love the fact that me and Phil got something going, so I appreciate him immensely. Let me get to the chat real quick, and then we'll get right into it. I got to redo my mods. I told everybody I'm just going to unmod everybody and just add back a few people, but I hate doing that. Curtis is in the house. David, what's up, brother? How are you? Brad Harris, my brother from another mother, is in the house. JJ, what's up, JJ?
Hey, JJ.
Jojo, JJ, and Jojo, and Arturo. Loyal
Cowboy.
Loyal. Vinny Hagen, Man of Hawkins Zone is in the house. I know that the basketball game's on tonight, so it might be rather quiet. But Lead Commander,
I see that.
Thank you, my man. I love Michael Irvin.
Mike Aldana.
Yeah, you got Mike Aldana. Clemente, my money, my Akifab guy. You could tell.
I say WV Country Boy. I don't want to just assume that's West Virginia Country Boy.
I would imagine it's West Virginia Country Boy. But yes, I appreciate everybody in the house. There's a lot of blue. Again, if anybody wants us to join, be a male head member, just hit the join button. It's $4.99. You get some little perks here and there. But Arturo does make a good thing. I'd like to take a minute to rest in peace, Jerry West. The logo has passed away.
I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I thought he had already passed away. Like
Yeah, I'm with
and that's
you.
why when I saw it, I was like, ooh, I was like, is this like a Mandela effect? Like,
Yeah,
is this
right.
like this guy just
EJB,
keeps going,
Linda
just like
Conyers.
Kenny? He comes back like he dies every other year.
Yeah.
But no, Jerry West. That's exactly
The logo, they made the NBA logo out
off
of
the
him.
silhouette.
So
Yeah,
yeah. So you know,
Benny. Yeah, exactly. I'm like, I felt bad because I was like, oh, but I feel like
yeah, no,
I've
Vinny, I
had
thought
this
the same
thing.
thing. Literally, when I saw it, I'm like, okay, well, he passed away a few months ago, right? Well,
Are we just talking
Hey, Lady
about it? Like,
Libra, how were you?
yeah, no, but that's where
The
it's sad.
one
Like
and
a lot
only
of
Rhonda
got
Don.
some NBA legends that are going. Do they could do the whole celebrity of three? So it's like the NBA legends of three. Got Bill Walton that just obviously passed away. And then now you have Jerry West. Where's is there a third one, or we're not thinking of somebody? We
Yeah, I don't
forgotten
want to think
somebody.
of it. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not. That's hope. But there's always a third. But I guess you could always link up anything. But you know, listen, I'm not gonna lie, people. This is the dog days. We're gonna hear a little bit, and we're gonna get into some of this stuff. I want to get Phil's. Like opinion on a couple of the guys that we brought in.
The UFL,
Yeah. We brought in four
whatever.
guys here, Phil. We brought in four guys. We
Two
brought in.
linebackers, two corners.
Yes, yeah, exactly. You nailed it, buddy. See, we didn't talk about it, and yet we both knew what was happening here. I got it written down, but
I was looking at like the Harvey one. Like you talked about Harvey Jr. and I looked him up and I started watching some film of him. But I didn't get to see any of his weaknesses. I think that's the only problem with seeing some of the highlights. Is that okay? He can shoot gaps. He's be able to read. But what about those ones when he wasn't making that play? Was he getting blocked up? Because he seems to be a lot smaller. But he tends to put himself in a good position, even if though the linemen are coming down, he tends to get around them. So I got to see his whole tape so I can see the weaknesses as well too.
Yeah, exactly. We brought in four people on Tuesday. We haven't signed anybody yet, but I just want everybody to understand. We had 4 roster spots available. You're supposed to carry 90 into training camp on the 25th, which is about 42 days away from right now. So we had roster spots. We still do. Nobody has been signed, but
I like the possibility of linebackers, though. I do like that.
Listen, Phil, if there's any team that can bring in a UFL person, it's the Cowboys and be successful. We've proved over the last 2 years. Last year being Brandon Aubrey, and the year before it was Cavante Turpin.
You know what makes me nervous about that? It's just the extended the season they tend to have.
Yeah.
They're just going and going, whether they come out of college, go into that league, they're playing, then they're straight into training camp, right into the thing. So it just doesn't seem to slow down for them.
Yeah.
So those are the ones you worry about in that first year. So I definitely welcome the linebackers. I got to look into the corners as well, but I do like that. Again, we are bringing in at least some extra people that are not just the free agent roster that's sitting there and has been sitting there.
Yeah, I don't think that any of these guys are looked to be the answer. It's more of depth, and we can always use depth, especially in linebacker. But on Tuesday, the Cowboys hosted Michigan Panthers linebacker Noah Dawkins, St. Louis Battlehawks linebacker Willie Harvey Jr., who actually was basically the player all UFL. He led the league.
Yeah, he looked good.
I mean, he led the league in tackles. He's 5'11", 230. People say he's not that tall. Listen, he will fill a gap and stop the runner.
He surprisingly, that's what I'm saying. Like I expected to see him when I was watching him play, that I was expecting him to get caught up very easily. It just seems like a guy that if he does get caught in someone's grasp, he's going to be able to be manhandled very well. But man, when you watched he got around players with just
George?
ease. Like he did a very good job of getting around those blocks. And so again, I really want to see the weakness part of his game. But if you're telling me that he's like the defensive player of the league almost, because that's what I was seeing as well, that says some stuff.
Yeah, and we got a couple guys with actual pedigree in. On Tuesday, the Cowboys host. No, who was it? Oh yeah, we got Gary
Arturo
Conley
with the $5 super chat.
Yes, Arturo, thank you, my man. You will go in the hopper. Yeah, we brought in Gary and Conley out of Ohio State. You remember, but he was also a cornerback with DC Defenders. He was a first round pick, and a cornerback, DeAndre Baker, who was also a first round pick of the Giants in 2019.
Yeah.
So it's not as though we, that we brought in some chumps. Okay, we did not bring in chumps. First things first, I did write it. He's not in here. Coyote. There you go, brother. If you're watching it back, you're in a hopper from the super chat yesterday. And Arturo, you're going in,
George?
my friend. Arturo Gomez.
So I do like the fact that they are bringing some stuff in, but again, when I see the league, I do like our success rate of being able to find talent out there. I think that's, again, if you're able to allow Will McClay and his staff, not just scouting college, obviously they're scouting, other leagues as well. That to me should be the main guy. He has his finger on the pulse. He gets his finger on the pulse in the sense of what somebody should be paid, what tier they're in, where we're going to be looking at them. Oh, here in the next year, I couldn't negotiate a contract. So to me, he's the one that should really be negotiating these contracts for us. And again, I just think this is a hidden, wasted talent there. Lady Lieber with the $10 super chat.
You're going in the hopper, lady. I know you have a couple in there already, so you're in there.
Arturo, it's hard not to think that just because Boston has not been shooting well from beyond the arc and everything. It's like what happens when they catch fire. I'm interested to see how Dallas plays at home. They definitely do tend to play a lot better at home.
Yes,
but
I
again,
expect the Mavericks to win tonight. Plus, Porzingis
because Boston could just turn it on. Yeah.
Porzingis,
and he was
out,
doing
so,
well.
yeah.
I didn't know if he was gonna come in and just start tearing it up, but he did a good job.
We're up to 25 people, so we need $50 for a drawing, 50 more. So if not, it'll roll over. But yes, so we have brought in guys. I'm not here again. We're not here to sit there and say they're going to be the best thing since sliced bread. But we have a good track record. We had 4 roster spots. We haven't signed anybody. What's up, CZ? We haven't signed anybody yet, so stay tuned for that. But listen, player acquisition is a 365-day year.
Oh my god, I roll my eyes instantly when I hear that.
I know.
It's like we're doing our due diligence.
George DC for life. Zim making us punch in the mouth defense. We have a run stop defense. George, it will definitely. Again,
you need him with a couple of years to really kind of shape the roster the way he needs it. But I definitely feel better that he'll be able to use guys a little bit, just more to their natural ability.
Yes. 365 minutes a year. I like that, Glimmer Man. Let's see here. Arturo. That's who I want to get to. That as a fan, I'm worried about Mozzie's psyche and confidence. And that leads me to my thumbnail, which I want to talk to Phil about. We have a I want to focus on the defensive tackle room. I think I know where this is going when I ask.
My nightmare.
What's up, Ray Urzoa? I definitely don't think it's nowhere near as bad. Is it what we want? No, but it's not as bad as what people think. But I just want everybody to know, as of right now, one of these guys is a question mark, but I do want to go over each one of these guys with Phil. You don't have to give me a breakdown of the player, but just give me your thoughts on. Just remember, I'll counter whatever you say as well. Defensive tackle, obviously, Carl Davis, veteran defensive tackle, Carl Davis. What's your thought? We have 7, and I want to touch on. What's your opinion of Carl Davis?
Zimmer being back on the defensive side of the ball and him automatically bringing back Carl Davis makes me feel like he's going to use Davis differently than what Dan Quinn had him planned for. Because let's be real, anybody that Dan Quinn seems to have brought in, he wants them to thin down a little bit so we can be agile, do whatever stuff. Right. And so that's kind of what everybody that came in had that kind of an agenda. Even Hankins, at some point, he needed to kind of change stuff up. I think Zimmer would use him differently. Again, I don't have much hopes with Carl Davis. I look at him more of as just a third stringer, maybe more on the practice squad guy to come in if somebody gets hurt that's young on the roster, somebody not somebody maybe a trade bait situation, and then you need to replace that guy. Yeah, that's the only way I really see him in this, because
he's a
even with
32-year-old guy, it's not like he's young. West Virginia country boy, what's up, my man? Thank you so
and
much.
it was and when we watched this defense and the way that he played in general, if the motion of the offense tends to slide, he just does not go with that offense, and so that he almost eliminates the other linemen that are on the side of him by not being able to move his ass along with the whole offensive defensive line shifting as the running backs are about to get the ball. So I think he tends to be a problem there. But if they're running up the middle, him not being moving,
Double dog?
it's a great job. But they just definitely were able to game plan against what he was doing. But then again, what was our weakness last year? Our weakness last year and the year before that was, of course, running to the sides. Yeah. And so that's where they were attacking, because even with that big defensive tackle, he couldn't get his ass
Davis,
over there.
I just want to go over his size with everybody. He's 32 years old. He is a veteran. 6'5", 335. Big boy. Zimmer runs a different defense than what Dan Quinn. I'm not here to crap on Dan Quinn. I'm really not. It's just a different style. It's just a different scheme. We ask far less from our defensive tackles in Mike Zimmer's scheme than, like Phil, you pointed out. Dan Quinn wanted you to actually get pass rush from the tackle position. And it's a little easier to play defensive tackle. Your job is to take a double team.
Yeah,
basically.
And Zimmer, you take the double team, but you also don't want the quarterback to be able to step up into the pocket.
Yeah,
I think that's the biggest thing. That's where I feel. Yeah, I'm a big buster in the sense of Mozzie Smith, but under Zimmer's defense, and I think he'll be able to thrive a lot more. That doesn't mean he's making plays all of a sudden. He's contributing to the plays that are being made because he's doing his job. So it's kind of one of those silent attackers kind of thing. He's definitely doing his job. He's kind of like the offensive lineman. You're going to see these guys blow up some guys off the defensive line better than last year. But are they going to get all the credit? No. Zeke is back and he looks amazing, and that kind of stuff is going to all of a sudden be talked about by week 4 or 5.
All right. So Carl Davis, I think we'll all admit. What's up, Drew? We'll all admit he's a veteran, but I think he actually fits better. He was actually earmarked early on in the process, and they brought him back early on, right after Zimmer was brought back.
To me, out of all the defensive tackles you have, he's the bottom of the barrel.
Carl Davis?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Osa Odigizua is another guy I want to touch on. Now, here is a different body type, okay? I love Osa. 6'2", 280. He's a college wrestler. He gets penetration.
He's more of he's more of the pass rushing defensive tackles you see in the league. Unfortunately, he is our top defensive tackle. I look at, unfortunately, we want other people and they have potential to be better. But as of right now, going into training camp, he is your leading defensive tackle. And he's so underweight. He's not exactly what you'd want a defensive tackle to be.
He's a 3-tech that, he's more of an athletic guy, uses his hands really well because of his wrestling background. He did have 26 solo tackles and 3 sacks last year from the defensive tackle position. But
you're so right, West Virginia. Yep,
yes,
exactly. That's the problem.
Not a solid run. Yes, and he gets tired as the season goes along.
He disappears. So that's unfortunately very scary. That's your leading guy. I mean, don't get me wrong. When offensive linemen talk about him, they definitely talk great things about him, and it definitely shows. But again, early in the season, his conditioning needs to kind of be there. His payday is going to be coming up in some way. So it's like he needs to show that other side of the game, especially if you're going to become he's basically become the number 1 defensive tackle unless they get some kind of trade or something going on. But he's going to be that guy leading that whole front.
Well, I got another guy that I'm.
Pinterest balls, devil dog.
What is?
No.
What's up, Stephen Brown? Well, let's see what Drew said. Hey, it's true. Bill Belichick is a consultant. Yeah, I heard that, Drew. I heard he's a consultant. Him and Zimmer are really close. So, you know, it is what it is. It is.
Well, I mean,
what
when it comes
is.
to the defensive side of the ball, I mean, Belichick definitely has it. I mean, he's never really controlled the offensive side, so that seems to be more of McCarthy's
Yeah.
thing, anyways. And so if I don't know, I don't see a problem with it because obviously coaches go to other coaches for advice, other players go to players for advice. So yeah, I don't see a problem with it.
Next guy I want to get into here is Chauncey Golston. Now they have him listed as a defensive end, but so I'll be curious to see. No, I didn't include all the defensive ends, but this guy played a lot of D tackle over the last couple of years. He's in the final year of his deal, as is most of the Dallas Cowboys.
My question is with Golston, did he himself become that big, or was that a Dan Quinn pushing him to become
I don't
that
know.
guy?
He's 6'5", 268. So he's only 26.
But he
out of
got
Iowa.
bigger. Like
Yeah.
of course, when you saw him in college compared to where he came, yeah, again an undersized defensive tackle. Let's be real. It's like if your center and your guard get a hold of him, where do you think he's going? You don't.
Right.
I don't care what he's doing in the offseason and everything. He's not unless he got some super long cleats that he can anchor himself down and stuff like that. I think that's the only way that you may have something. But he's definitely undersized. You got certain downs where you have your pass rushing defensive tackles, and he's there. He does make some flashes of plays, but I don't know. Was he just deep in that rotation that he wasn't getting those?
I hear what you're saying. I'm a fan of his, but not from the defensive tackle position, which leads me to what West Virginia Country Boy said. I think he should be an end. I think he will be an end, and we're getting to those names.
But do we have too many ends now?
Well, that's going to play out. I mean, that's definitely going to play out.
I think he's to that point. If you get some guys in here that are making some plays stuff, he might be on that chopping block type of situation. Just because if you're going to stick him at the end position, he's already got the two starters. Where you're talking about Parsons, you talk about Law, Lawrence, and everything like that. But and then right behind them, you got Nealon, which you don't know how he's going to go. Maybe he's going to be an amazing year. You got Sam Williams behind as well too. So there's your double. Where's your three? You got a bunch of people rotating into that three. So I'm very interested to see where do they put these guys.
Yes. So we did Carl Davis, we did Osa, and we did Chauncey. I think Chauncey will end up on the end. They have him listed at end right now, but. Again,
you know how you solve all this shit. Let's be real. Like the way you solve it is you get a 3-4 defense, and you can have your rusher on the side still, Lawrence and all, and then you can put an outside linebacker that also rushes and does stuff.
Mike really should be in a 3-4 in my opinion, but again, we'll see. I don't even feel like talking about Micah tonight. That's why I'm sticking to the defensive tackles.
Yeah, exactly, Clemente. That was another one that's about to come out of my mouth. Fahoko? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's coming. It's coming. Mozzie. We're going to Mozzie Smith, 6'3". It says 337, but we know now that he's more like
220, 322 or something like that.
310, 315. Okay. And he's not even, he's at 305 now. They want him at 315. So, yeah, more like 237. So, Mozzie Smith, he's not going to play the one tech. So if you look back right now, we literally only have 32-year-old. Now I'm getting to the other names, but as everybody that we've talked to, Carl Davis is the only guy who's really that one technique, and he's a little long in the tooth. Mozzie Smith, listen, I'm not expecting much from Mozzie until he does it, Phil. He's moved over to the 3 technique now, so he's going to be in competition for for snaps with Fahoko. But before we get to Fahoko, what are your expectations of Mozzie? I know we haven't seen him, but what's your expectation? Because the poor guy he's in his own head.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Like when you're talking about moving him to a 3 tech, you now become like a marathon. You kind of become like that Olympic sprinter. There's two battles. There's the battle with getting the hell off on the gunfire. You need to get up because that's the first one. If you can get a good start, that is half the battle, man. You've already put yourself in a position to be able to win. This is NFL, man. You're going to go against some really, really good centers, some defense attack, some guards and everything like that. So you need to be able to take any advantage you can. And your slow start is putting you at a really bad disadvantage.
Yeah.
Now, to me, I mean, yeah, you can work on your strength and everything. But to me, in your off season, the only thing that your main business should be is trying to get off the ball quickly. Like, you know how they just said somebody moving that ball, you're trying to get off like that snap, and you're recording yourself to see how it's happening. And I think he needs to work on that very badly. When it comes to Zimmer's defense, again, I'm putting him in the same thing as Carl Davis. You don't expect him to be able to go, okay, he has to get upfield to get that rush on. No, I don't want the quarterback to be able to step up, but I want him to be able to fill his gap. That I think Mozzie can definitely do. So I see him having a way better success rate this year than he did last year. Again, I don't expect much on the defensive tackles in the sense of the sack department unless somehow they're pushing those quarterbacks up into the pocket and those guys are doing their job.
Yeah, David Cowboy telling Mozzie to win with speed was like telling Deuce to play tight end and block. Yeah,
yes, what's his streak? We see him like lifting all this weight, but you're just like, let's not even try to.
I'm not here to defend Mozzie at this point. We need to see it. Like I'm sure Drew and Linda, they're tired of hearing about, the Kobe Dean or Noah, the Nolan Smith. I mean, the edge rusher that me and Phil were talking about at the draft last year. Like the talk is cheap. Okay, like we need to see it. Now it's pretty alarming that. Now, I want everybody to just drink this in. It's pretty alarming that Zimmer worked with Mozzie and felt the need to, during the OTAs, just to have him learn how to put his hand down and line up properly. What the hell were they doing last year? Now, this is the type of things that you hear that are starting to trickle out about Dan Quinn. Again, I'm not here to crap on Dan. I'm not.
Well, that's what I was talking about. Like to me, like I felt like, yeah, you were hands on, you're down there, but like during the game, you're all the way the hell up in the booth. Like you know that to me, that says you're so disconnected from their training or the what's going on in their ear. I
agree, Rob. We need a Linville Joseph. That would help, and I expect it. But I would say Zim doesn't look like to talk what he's doing on defense and makes other teams. Yeah, exactly, George. That's what we have to look forward to. What's that?
No, he's like, I'll break out the 151 Bacardi.
Yeah, nah. Hell nah. Alina, do you see the Cowboys getting more help at wide receiver?
Here's the thing.
We got a lot of guys, Alina.
We do like Quinn. That's the thing is he caused turnovers and everything, but we saw it. If you look at our last season,
I'm not
the end of the year,
Eagles fan. Hold up.
Hold on. The last half a year, we were complaining about what defense he was bringing, And so to me, we do like Dan Quinn was amazing for us. He was better than what we had before him as well. So he elevated us, but there has to be a certain point where you got to move on, man, and that's where they were at.
Eagles fan 220.
And let's say he moved on. Let's be real.
I don't know what else I can say. I said I appreciate everything you did. I think we got as much as we could get out of Quinn. Quinn is very stubborn. Quinn wants a certain body type. Again, Zimmer already, is already telling everybody we may not have as many turnovers, but
you need a bigger defense to be able to hit some of these teams in the mouth, like the Lions, the 49ers.
Right. I'm sure Eagles fan 220, you would not be happy if you saw your defense in the playoffs look the way it did. We were getting it was ridiculous. Yeah. Not to mention, and we love Dan Quinn. I'm not sitting here like, it's one of those deals where you didn't get over the top. We were starting to regress.
Yeah, and his weaknesses were on that defense. They weren't plugging those things, and maybe it is the Joneses. Hey, Bobby Wagner wanted to come here, and then all of a sudden he goes and signs for Washington.
For sure. It's the Joneses for sure because he wanted Bobby. And what did I say? As soon as he went to Washington, He
Boom, got
signs
Bobby.
Bobby.
Yeah, exactly.
So
exactly.
I mean, I blame our front office as well. I mean, it's like the old adage, you want me to do the cooking, but the old Parcells line. You want me to do the cooking, but you won't let me.
You don't want me to buy the groceries.
Yeah, you don't want me to buy the groceries.
Yeah.
So, again, Dan Quinn was a hell of a defensive coordinator, but he wasn't perfect. But moving along, we talked about Chauncey. Now, Junior Fehoko, Viliami Fehoko, Mark Hutchins in the house. There he is. Bang.
Says, good evening, game time, prime time. Hope everything's going good on this side of the world. Heck yeah, it is, man. It's here in Florida right now. It is pouring. This week has been just pouring. It's just a tropical storm pushing through. So it's supposed to be that way for the rest of the week. So we are definitely feeling it here.
Yeah, so we're sitting at 40 now, so $35 away from a drawing. We got a few items we could give away, but we're sitting here at 40. I always round up, so we're at 40.
Junior Fehoko.
Yeah, Junior Fehoko. My question, let me just read you his stat line. Again, he was a lot, I don't know, you tell me more about it.
They were hiding him. Like, to me, that was their guy they were hiding. They didn't put him in there too much. They didn't show a whole lot. When I watch his college film from last year, okay, we got this thing. Let me look into him. I loved his attitude. He's one of those guys kind of like the Eric Williams where he hits up until the whistle, and there might be a hit after the whistle. So he just has that type of attitude. And so obviously a relative of Vita Vea. So that's always makes you feel good. Okay, there's some greatness in that blood. But when you look at it, you haven't seen a whole lot from him. But again, where he was in college, it looked really, really good. I questioned the level of competition that he was going against. So that's why I really want to see him on the field. I want to see some preseason activity, especially since these guys are not going to be, the stars are really not going to be playing in the beginning. So I really want to see how some of these guys look that we have not been able to see. So yeah. I'm a big Fehoko fan.
I'm showing some highlights of Fehoko. He's 6'4", about 270. So again, we're talking another 3-tech. He is not a 1-tech. He didn't see the field last year. He had a good preseason. But again, he got injured like many of our rookies last year. But you can see some of the... There he is.
Oh, you're gonna make me think of the name, Glimmerman. Oh, he was that defensive end. Oh man. Oh.
For who?
For us. We drafted him. We hardly ever saw the field. Oh man.
Taco. Oh no.
It starts with an A. I want to say
Aaron. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, man.
Azur. No. Dang it! Now I'm gonna have to think.
But. Oh yeah, Bradley and I. Bang.
Yeah, thank you.
David Cowboy.
Bradley and I. Thank you. That's exactly. Yeah. I was like, it's an A. There's like Bradley and I.
Well,
That's exactly
I just feel
what
the need to let you guys know what we're looking at here. That's what we're looking at. This is the guy that didn't see the field in a game. So
yeah, and his stuff. The way he wins is definitely power compared to like a guy like a Nye where he was doing a lot of speed stuff.
Right.
But Fehoko, I love his game. He's really good at recognizing. At least again, now you have some depth that can recognize the run and actually hold the edges.
Mark Hutchins.
I feel better about that. Sam Williams.
Guy.
Sam Williams still needs to prove it to me in that sense. Well, who would prove it to me? Who the hell am I, right? But prove it to Cowboy fans in general that he can hold those edges and not get a holding call and not get those penalties that he's been getting in the past couple of years. So again, I'm a big Fehoko fan, and again, I think their whole strategy was just to hide him last year and not put him out there so nobody would pick him up. They were balancing him, dropping him, just. Were they dropping him off the roster? I think they did that a couple of times, didn't they?
No, I don't think. No,
right?
They never dropped him
because I think because of the draft contract, you don't want to do that.
Yeah, no, they never dropped him. Thank you so much, Mark. I appreciate you, brother. So Viliami Fehoko, like I said, 6'4", about 270 out of San Jose State.
I expect more from him this year.
I like the guy. He's listed as a defensive end, but he's going to play 3 technique. That's so. Again, yet another body, but not a big body. Not that the proverbial trash can full of dirt.
Well, let's be real, man. It's just unless you're just not going to find it. You're not. It just wasn't those years. Who was releasing big, huge defensive tackles? We had Hankins out there. We could have easily probably gotten back. That would be a hell of a pickup, but it just wasn't there. And so if you just started releasing some of these guys, who are you going to pick up really? So at least they were able to get some additions to see what we could possibly get. But again, it does worry me. And I'm just hoping that the scheme will hopefully counter some of that weakness. Arancon was our O-line guy.
Arancon. Yeah.
Golly, I want cake.
All right. Yeah. Next guy I want to touch on is now the last 2 guys on the list are our rookies. This guy, Denzel Daxon, he's played at a couple schools, ended up at the University of Illinois. This guy definitely...
He's ringing some bells.
I got some highlights running. He wore a couple different numbers, but obviously he's a guy in the middle making, So just check him out because, again, Mike Zimmer has a way, and as normally your one technique guys, you don't draft high anyway. Jordan Davis is a rarity, or the guy out of Tampa Bay, Vita Vea. I love Vita Vea. He's a guy because he just helps everybody on your defense. Jordan Davis, I heard he's looking good. That could be a potential issue for us. But it would be nice to get.
At least I feel better about what we have offensive line wise compared to like Tyler Biotis going up there and blocking him. Because when he was doing the blocking against him, our offensive line, unfortunately, are one of those situations where you have to take one-on-one blocks. You don't get that opportunity to do 2-on-1s too often, especially your outside guys. But you just saw Tyler Biotis getting pushed back a lot into Dak's pocket. So it's just I'm interested to see anybody that we put there, them just not collapsing,
Yeah. Well, just real quick, Rob, that's what's going to be interesting. Yeah, Brad, Curtis, I'm looking at my connection. It's perfect. So maybe refresh your screen, brother. Rob, yeah. Zim is going to come down on everybody. So you got to learn. That's why I think Greg Ellis is going to be a big, big key to.
He is.
That guy. Yeah. He's,
You have somebody that's done it before. He's, maybe, and he's also, let's be real, like in the beginning, he had like this troublemaker type of personality that he overcame and became a hell of a leader on this defense. Guy that I was always kind of surprised that he was still there. He's still on the other side. He was still doing his thing. And to bring him back, I think is just a lot. It reminds me of Mark Colombo kind of coming back and doing, teaching the offensive linemen at those couple of years. And we did a really, really good job. You saw a big improvement. And again, I just thought that Durden, there's only so much he can teach, unless he was playing it constantly himself at all pro level, there's only so much he can get to.
Yep, absolutely. I agree. Let's get to the chat. We got one more guy to talk to, but what do we got going on here? What do we got? Asman has asked me about a Stroker 383 being rebuilt for the Pink's remodel food truck. Yeah, Mark sold the bid, man. Mark's out. Mark's out on a lot. Mark's right now is riding Dan Psilio's jock right now. I love you, Mark, but my God, my Lord, you got that's like torture watching that because they just double team him, man. Let's see.
You usually got to pay twice for that, Cotton.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Hey,
you got paid double for that. Bold strategy. We'll see how it turns out.
Hey, Cott. These are talks about us getting Dalvin Cook. I'm thinking Dallas might need him more. Robbie, I did hear the Eagles. We're not getting Dalvin Cook.
I don't think we are, but
a shit ton of running backs. Again, that's where, that's why I could never be on that show, Twiz. Rob A, because I would be throwing shit right back at them and they would be lost. They don't want a guy like me who's going to throw actual names in their face. They're talking about Zeke. Zeke's going to be like he's going to be a third down guy, a goal line guy. That's about it. But again,
no, man. I think you're downplaying a little bit.
I don't think he's not going to be the every down guy.
No. I don't think so either. But
Rico, it's going to be Deuce Vaughn out of the slot. They're not running the ball much. They're not. So.
I want to see more Deuce Vaughn, but I just don't see them putting that in there. I mean, I see like, what's the other Foreman? Is that the other running back? Yeah. I somehow he's starting to impress me a little bit more with what he's been able to bring.
Yeah, Royce Freeman.
So Rico, how long can Rico last?
Yeah,
Rico
is the most explosive guy we got.
Dude, he looked good last year.
Nobody knows about him, but that's fine. He just, Rico. Again, it's going to be a running back.
And I get exactly, yeah. Elliott will, like Glimmerman says, Elliott will start the game. They will pound Elliott. JJ wants to get back going. Yeah, and that's what it is. He'll start the game. He'll kind of get that rotation. He'll get it going. There might be some guys in between, and then at the end he'll play a little bit more because people are tired and you're compounded.
Here's the thing, people. I can't speak for my ownership these days because I don't know what the hell they're doing at times. But if it gets to a point where we need a running back, we'll get a damn running back. Mm-hmm. That wasn't the issue last year. Our offensive line sucked. That was the thing that nobody was talking about. It's funny. I got news for you, Phil. Making a Pro Bowl these days, how it's set up is ridiculous because all these names that would never make a freaking Pro Bowl are making it because guys are bailing out left and right because nobody wants to go before a Super Bowl, right? Yeah, I hate this. I hate it. Go back to
trust me, the old one.
Hawaii.
Yeah, we talk about the old one where the Super Bowl champions could go.
Yes,
and so
you go there even if you don't play. You go there and you have a great week. It's just ridiculous. So Tyler Biotis made a Pro Bowl. Whip-de-doo. You'll see Tyler Biotis. The only thing he's good at is identifying the defensive pressure. He does do that well. Mm-hmm. Everything else, he's average at best. But anyway, before I get off track, let's get to my last defensive lineman, Justin Rogers. Rookie Justin Rogers. Here's some highlights for him.
Yeah, I think this one to me is the wild card factor. This is the wild card, the Joker, the just that person in the deck that, he could be a future star. I mean, you might have something here. I do like his film. He's a little bit bigger. That's not something that you were having with a lot of the other guys. So he's a true, to me, that one technique guy. You get him deeper into the draft, like Brian was saying. But again, a guy that when you watch his college film going against really good competition, he stood his ground. He did what a defensive tackle is supposed to do and got off blocks, took double teams, was still able to not move. So I do like what this guy has, especially film-wise. He just was stuck behind a lot of, just talent that they have there. And then by the last year, he got to rotate a lot more. So again, I think this is the wild card in the sense that we may have something here, but then again, it may, just be nothing.
Here's the deal. Yeah, and I agree with everything you said. There's nothing not to like about him and Denzel Jackson. They both could be unbelievable finds, but to have to rely.
I agree. That's right there. You are correct.
Yeah.
Have to rely on a guy like that. Yeah. Not the way you want to go, especially as a rookie. You don't want to. I mean, there's certain positions where, okay, you can translate that into the NFL or you're getting some work. Man, it's just like our left tackle. Let's be real. Like, I love that he's going to be able to come in here, really be able to bring his game. Again, he's going to be tested right off the bat with Myles Garrett. We keep going back to the offensive line. I'm sorry, I apologize that I keep doing this. But there's a lot of similarities in the sense that
we'll get
what
to
happens
the
by
line. All right, we'll get to
it. By the last time we get to the 75% of the season, how are these young guys going to feel by the last quarter? They're going to be tired, especially as the NFL season is now getting longer.
Mark Hudson, there you go. Deuce Vaughn will be the best water boy the Cowboys ever had. Yeah, right. Exactly.
That's so wrong.
Well,
He's a little
Phil,
dude that gets the tees when
there you go,
they kick
buddy.
off. He like
Mark
runs out there, grabs
Hutchinson.
the tees, and comes back with it.
Well, listen,
I like Deuce, man. I just
yeah,
what worries me about the passing game because I do like the
$5 away,
idea.
people, from a drawing.
I do like that idea and everything. I just, man, you're putting the ball in the air. He's a smaller target. Is not as much of a So to me, there's a lot of things that can go wrong with this. And again, I am a Deuce Vaughn fan. We need to be able to get the ball to him safely.
Yeah, exactly. What I like him, Mark Hutchinson. They're lining him up in the slot as a receiver. I think that's a good way to utilize him, and not to mention him and Cavante Turpin on kickoffs. They were averaging midfield with the new rules in OTAs. I know there's no pads, but it's going to be. Let's put it this way: I won't be going to the bathroom during the kickoffs anymore. I'll wait till actual commercials to go to the bathroom because it's going to be exciting. It's going to be very exciting. Mark Combs doing a tiddlywinks with Sills at camp. Yeah, well, you can go hang out with Mark. I was just talking to Phil about that. He'll probably cancel on the Eagles Dallas most likely, but me and Phil are going. So, he wants to hang out with Philly 500 and Big Sills. So we'll see. We'll see if he goes with us. I did reserve a suite, so we got room for him.
Damn, Brad Harris, you might not be wrong there.
Yeah, exactly, Brad. So, that's where we're at. I hope to see. I know Mark Hutchinson said he won't go to a game, but anybody in the Dallas area, man, you go to if you can get to the Dallas game, man, that'll be a great time to hang out with some of you people. So. Not all of you. No, I'm joking.
Let's be real. Yes.
Deuce. Yeah. Oh, I have to heart it.
Oh man, what a shot by Luca
Brazzi. I don't know if you heard, Phil, but
they didn't count it.
Aaron Rodgers, a little
Nah.
NFL news. Here, I want to play this.
Him and Coach are on the same page. You don't need to worry about that.
Yeah. Well, I want to play this and we'll hear Aaron Rodgers and Eagles Hassan Reddick. So let's see about this.
Is Hassan Reddick attending minicamp?
No, so we've got two inexcused absences. One obviously being Hassan. Spoke to him over the weekend. Appreciate the dialogue. He's in a really good place mentally, working his tail off like we already know, and but he's choosing to sit out this one, inexcused. The second one is Aaron. Aaron and I spoke before OTA started. He's been very good in communication. He's been here the entire time. It's inexcused, but he had an event that was very important to him, which he communicated.
Both are
Both inexcused, yes.
So are they getting fined?
They're both subject to the CBA fine schedule.
They're both subject to the CBA fine schedule. Now, you know where he's at, people, right? He is in a cave getting high. You know that, right? You know that, Phil. He's probably in the cave. What do they call that, where you go in a cave for 3 days?
Oh, I did you about spelunking? I was like, no.
No, I'm not saying he's spelunking.
His journey is doing a journey?
The ayahuasca or whatever.
Is he doing a meditated journey?
Yeah, he's doing a meditated journey of what he's doing.
He's seeing what the NFL gods are telling him to do.
Yeah, exactly.
He's listening to dolphin sex sounds as he heals.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that's what he was doing. I bring that up each time because that's what he was doing early. And he was even saying it. I was just like, okay, well, that's interesting. Therapy, I guess. Like, so to me, Reddick, man, he wants a contract. Yeah. I don't blame him.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to get paid.
Yeah,
he's going to get paid.
So to me, that was not surprising. Rodgers, he can do whatever the hell he wants. They're just excited for him to be there. When you saw photos of him there doing stuff, you saw him reaching for that ankle. So maybe they're just bringing it up, making it seem like, oh, we didn't want to unexcuse him. But I don't know. Maybe something could have happened to his shit.
Yeah, I would say this though, Devil Dog. If you go to Philly, no offense, CZ, but do not get Pats, Genos, or Tony Luke's. Listen, they're all good in a pinch right before a game. It's all well and good, but you want the good stuff. You got to go off the beaten path. You don't get that crap. But that's just me. Sorry, but I'm gonna go over. Yeah, Phil keeps bringing it up. We have a lot of positions here. No, I'm going to get to it. I got 14 names in front of me, and listen, I'm not going to pull up video or nothing, but, last year I believe we kept 10 or 11 offensive linemen, and, some years 9. I got 14 names here. I'm going to start off with the ones that I think that are on the hot seat.
Okay, here we go.
Josh Ball, okay?
Josh Ball.
I mean, my thing is, you've had enough, bro. We've seen enough. You cannot get on the field, right? It's like stay or go. There you go. Stay or go. Phil, stay or go. Josh Ball.
Oh, to me, it's go.
Yes, go. You must go, Josh. You take your abuse somewhere else. Remember, he came out of college. He,
I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, I don't even want to talk about it. All right, next one. This is Phil's guy. I like him too. He can't stay healthy. I don't know what to believe. To me, it's either him or Asim Richards. But Matt Waletzko, is he going to stay healthy? He's had surgery on both shoulders, Phil. I mean, the guy's a beast.
I think the only way he stays on this roster is if you do not have the depth behind him. Now, the problem to me, I don't have any way of I have nothing to judge him off of. I've seen him out there, but it's been in the preseason and going against lower competition, and it's been okay. It hasn't been great. He did get better towards the end of the preseason, but man, I don't know. I think he only makes this roster if the depth isn't there.
Yeah, Matt Waletzko. I mean, obviously, some of these things are going to play out. With injury, there's going to be not everybody's going to stay healthy. But my next guy is going to be Asim Richards. Now, we drafted him in the 5th round, and we picked up a TJ Bass. We'll nail both of these guys at once. Last year in the draft, we drafted Asim Richards in the 5th round, and we free agent TJ Bass. It looks like it could have been reverse. TJ Bass somehow slipped through the cracks for every NFL team. And he's going to be our starter at guard going forward after eventually, as soon as Zach calls it a career. Asim Richards and TJ Bass. Give me a little bit on both of those guys.
So I wonder where Awesome is. Is he a defensive? Is he a tackle or is he a guard? What are you playing? I don't think this coaching staff has a lot of confidence in him yet to put him at either position. So it's going to be interesting to see him in the preseason where they play him. Are they going to put him at the tackle position? Because to me, that's where he belongs. A guy like Edoga, I guess you only have, he's been durable. I think that's the only reason why I think he's still around is just that you can at least rely that he's going to be there. But Richards, to me, should be that backup tackle, knowing that you have a good.
Yeah, exactly. But
really, is he a backup? Because if all else fails, you probably put in Tyler Smith or you put in somebody over there, sliding him out there. So, I mean, is he the true backup? I don't know.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No. That's good. I'm watching the
game.
Sox
The game
going off. I'm watching the Phillies game. I'm going to switch to the Mavs.
Mavs are up 25-16. So
Nice. I'm not going to get into every name. Obviously, they got a guy named Earl Bostic Jr. He's going to be a camp fodder, or the practice squad. Dakota Shepley, but Nathan Thomas, they did pick up Nathan Thomas. They love what they see. That's why I think a guy like Asim Richards may be cut. I think Waletzko's
cut before Richards is cut. I think by that point. I mean, I see Richards as more of the left side of the line, where I see our Nathan. What was it? Nathan Nathaniel.
Thomas. Yeah.
Nathan Thomas. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
I saw him more of the right side.
Yeah. But
So I mean,
I like him as a rookie, just being on the roster, maybe practice squad type of guy. You can't keep them all. I mean, you got your starting five. We got Terrence Steele, Tyler Smith, Zach Martin, Brock Hoffman, Tyler Guyton, and then Cooper Beebe. That's 6, right? Chuma Edoga, even though I can't stand him. Sorry, Chuma. He going to be on the team. That's 7. So now you're looking at guys like Nathan Thomas. It's going to be interesting. I just like looking at it now. I think Josh Ball, well, let's go. Earl Bostic, Dakota Shepley. They're all gone. But here's my fear. Okay, let's say, God forbid, Guyton gets hurt or he's out for, I'm going to say injury rather than he's not good enough, right, at left tackle. What are they going to do at left tackle? Rob A., there he is. Hit 7K this week over under in baseball. Keep up. Oh, look at you, Rob. We are over the threshold. So we are at 90 for tonight. So we are $15. We got one drawing, and we're $15 towards the next. Thank you so much, Rob. I appreciate you. So we
now
got one
when
drawing.
I look, okay, so when we look at the center position, Brock Hoffman, we're feeling really good about that pick. Whether he is a starter or whether he is a backup, I think, yes, he is in that rotation. Now, when you look at Cooper Beebe, we know that, man, he has the potential to bust into this roster, whether he's a center, whether he becomes a guard. Again, I don't see him, them shifting him into the tackle position, but, you never know. But if anything, I say if something like that were to happen, let's say you have Brock Hoffman as your center, then you shift that over. You got Tyler Smith that can shift over to the tackle position. And then there you go. You can put in a Cooper Beebe or TJ Bass or one of these guys that you have just waiting in the wings to just really kind of, they want to hit people, man. They look like it. They have that attitude about them, and that's what I love about this offensive line is now we have some final depth that is not rotating on.
Yeah, it's definitely. What's up, Chris?
Josh Ball and Walesko. I mean, nothing against them as well, but you need your backups to be available, and they just weren't right off the bat too.
Yeah, David Cowboy says what I'm thinking. Got to move Smith to left tackle. Yeah, I don't know that that's what they're going to do. But
man, that's what I say. He says BB is starting center before training camp. Now, to me, he's starting center, yes. But they won't just put him in there. They'll start training camp. They'll put Brock Hoffman in there, and then Tyler, Cooper Beebe will by the end of it will take it.
Dallas wait. Dallas defense in trouble. Look at the offense and QBs they face with new system. Okay, you got a new system too. I don't know.
Well, I think he's talking about our defense going against offenses.
Yeah,
I think we don't know anything yet, Sue, and that's what we worry because there's a lot of stuff that the defensive tackle, to me, we take a step back, and so I get it.
Yeah, I don't see how there's a step back. We're gaining Diggs back, who wasn't there last year. Okay, we have linebackers. We have Eric Kendricks. We didn't have any linebackers last year. Okay, the defensive tackles I get. So
that's the part that I think we take a step back. I think everything else we improved on.
But with who? Just because of one guy, Hankins? Is that it, or
who do we pick up to replace Hankins?
No, I'm just saying he wasn't.
That's why I
guy.
say
he.
Yeah, but you saw when Hankins wasn't in the lineup compared to when he was in the lineup. Right. But again, under Dan Quinn's system.
West Virginia. Thanks a lot, buddy.
So I don't, you may ask these guys to do different things. They still need to make plays. So yeah, I think the defensive tackle position we got worse. Everywhere else on that defense we got better.
I like it, Dirty Sanchez. I bought a decal to go on my truck visor because I bought a brand new truck and it says Dirty Sanchez. Cool, very cool. Zimmer is an improvement. David Cowboy. I'm not even going to be negative to say anything about Dan Quinn. I love what Dan Quinn did for us. It was time to move on. Just like Atlanta Falcons. He took them to a Super Bowl. He got as much as he could. He choked up a lead against Tom Brady. Time to move on. unfortunately, that's how it works. Zimmer.
See, and Ronnie. I'm the opposite. See, because I feel better with the defense, not sure about the offense. Mine is the interior part of that defense that worries me. The offense, I feel
I think the
way
offense
better
is. I
about.
think the
Way
offense is
better
going to
about
be.
because
Yeah.
yes, the additions of those 3 linemen will at least, even if you hit one of them, it's just.
But I will say we have a lot of question marks that need to be answered. As most
By young guys.
That's what like cracks me up. As most teams do. You know, some teams are installing a whole new offense. Some teams are installing a whole new defense. Here's what I'll tell you about Mike Zimmer. Bill Parcells, like towards the end, went to Mike Zimmer and basically said, Mike, we're running a 3-4. Mike's like, I never ran a 3-4, but I'll do what I can. First year ever coaching a 3-4, he had a top 10 defense.
Sure.
Yeah, for the Dallas Cowboys. Mike Zimmer is a hell of a football coach. Dallas finished, I think, 10th. I think Rob Ace, I believe it was 10th overall last year with no linebackers at the end of the year for a while. For at least the last 6 games of the year, we had nobody except Damone Clark and a bunch of safeties playing linebacker. Again,
that was my 1 out of 3.
I would say, and we're not going to get into the corners, but Kalen Carson this year is looking. That's going to be the steal of the draft, most likely. He's going to be the Deron Bland of this year's class for the Cowboys. Kalen Carson is going to be like, why wasn't? They're already saying it. I mean,
Here's the
that
thing:
good.
when you pick deep into those drafts, if you have a scouting department that can do that, yeah, you're not going to hit every single one of them. And so I think, again, I think that Eric Scott pick was the kind of that waste. Now it's deep in the draft, so it doesn't matter as much. You kind of now past this point where that's going to matter because I don't see it happening there. I think when the preseason, we'll be able to see some flashes, see if he's able to. You never know, man. All of a sudden, he could be balling and be like, okay, man, I shut my mouth. This guy definitely proved me wrong.
5th. All right, cool, Rob. Thanks, brother. Yeah, 5th. So, again, I'm not saying that we're the best. That's you won't ever hear me say that. We have question marks, yes. But sitting here now, when you have a Micah Parsons, when you have a Diggs, I know he's coming back from an ACL, but he suffered it early. You know, he's going to be okay. We have Deron Bland, who literally, between him and Diggs, they lead the NFL in receptions over the last few years. I mean, we're talking ball hawks. We got Jordan Lewis that we brought back. We got Kalen Carson, who's a rookie who looks phenomenal. I'm not just blowing smoke to everybody. I'm just telling you, you don't have to believe me. Just wait and see. He looks great. Mike Zimmer's thrilled. So I don't think our defensive line is going to be the issue. That doesn't mean it's going to be bad. We got players. Let's not forget, we got Micah Parsons. That's part of the defensive line. We got DeMarcus Lawrence. We got Sam Williams. We got Marshawn Nealand, who looks phenomenal. So, again, let's not act like we don't have players. We have plenty of players. It's just, do we have the defensive tackle? That's why the thumbnail is what it is. I think the one technique is not – the main guy is not on the team yet. And if it continues to be that way, and if one of our 2 rookies doesn't step up, whether it's Denzel Jackson or a Carter – then, or is it Carter? Or who was it? Who's the rookie I'm thinking of out of
Auburn?
Yeah.
You just had the film on
Rogers.
Yeah.
Sorry, Carter.
Just
Rogers.
Rogers.
I'm thinking of If it's not one of those 2, then it might be a Linval Joseph to come in. But Linval Joseph is he's a veteran guy. I'm surprised they haven't brought him in already. Maybe they like what they've seen. I don't know. Who the hell knows? I mean, every team has their issues right now. I know the Eagles, I live here, they're dealing with some rookies in the secondary. You're going to have some question marks. They're dealing with your defensive end, losing Reddick, and you got to go with Huff, who hasn't been a every down guy, and they're saying that Josh Sweat, I can't believe Josh Sweat moved to number 19 as a defensive end. This ticket looks horrible, but you know
some of these guys, they're very questionable about these number choices.
Yeah, I don't know where he's playing, Drew, but what I do know is he's averaged 12 sacks a year since he's been in the league. Nobody has put up the numbers in the first 3 years of his career since Reggie White, so that's a fact.
Yeah, I don't worry about. There's some guys on this defense I don't worry about too much. I just again, I want preseason to come because I really want to see these young guys, see how they react. Schemes. Once schemes start happening, how they react in our defense, how they react to Al Harris coaching them. Just Zimmer being out there. That whole thing is, I may be mistaken, but I don't see Zimmer as a coach that's going to be up in the booth. I see him going to be on the sidelines, getting into the faces of these guys. So I'm excited about what he brings. Again, everybody is on a 1-year contract, so that again to me is a woo. It's an eye opener because we could be looking at a totally different team if things don't go well, right?
Yeah. Yes. Listen, Drew, I'm not sure about you're in a better position defensively. You lost your best pass rusher. Okay, you lost.
Yeah, man.
I don't see how you could say that, man. I don't. You're going to be relying on
you're saying that you have.
I'm not saying you're going to be bad, but you can't say you're in a better
Yeah.
position. We're getting back a lot of ammo. Yes, defensive line is going to be an issue. We'll see. Again, it has to play out. Like one techniques do not have to be stars. They just got to stop the run.
You got two potentials at corner there. I mean, you're hoping that they hit. You're going to have some guys in front of them. You're going to have to eat a contract with Bradbury eventually going out the door. You got like CJC that came back. That's a good move, I think. You did draft some linebackers. I think some of them are again undersized, but nowadays with the NFL the way it is, it seems like all linebackers seem to be undersized now.
Yeah, I'm not going to sit here and flex about our D-line because I don't know shit yet about it. But I do know we're getting back a lot of weapons. But I'm going to do a drawing here before we get out of here.
Yeah.
My wife's going to do a drawing.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, I'd say, Drew, that was your major blow, was losing Reddick.
Again.
I mean, that guy was a beast,
this
man.
Time of
and
year,
you got him at a good value. I think anytime you get a guy like that at a good value and he just comes in and makes an immediate impact, even when your defense was lost, he was still doing really, really well. So that's why I don't think you really needed to get rid of him until later in the season. But if he was going to be doing this holdout stuff like he is now, hey man, maybe they did the right thing because they could again. They're in a position where they can't pay everybody, and next 2 years or so, that's when the contracts are really going to start coming. So I'm interested to see, this maneuvering.
Brad, I played linebacker in high school. I would kill your slot receiver, Lamb. Here we go. 17 something.
Vanna White in the picture.
Vanna, there it is. Just pick a.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the Jets are already regretting it.
We have a winner, Curtis. You're the winner, brother.
Nice, congratulations, Curtis.
Curtis, you are the winner. Are you still here, Curtis? Yeah. Tonight we are. Where are we at here? $15 towards another rolling next time. Curtis, you're the winner. So if he's gone, then we'll just hold on to it. I do have many. Oh, yes. Let's see here. Curtis, let me know if you're in the house, brother. Let me know if you're in the house.
Oh man, Boston brought it back up. That was a close game. But
yes, because we have some plaques I can give away, hats, T-shirts. But yes. So anyway, anything else, Phil, that you want to talk about before we get out of here? I know you said we're not doing a show Saturday, so you won't see us until next week. What's up, Timothy Looper? Game Time. Pizzle thinks your great contractors are shining, and maybe your team up It'd be a fantastic deal. Timothy Looper, we might do something again. We might do something. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, Rob. I don't want to see that though. Me and Pizzle might be doing something again soon, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, Phil, what do you got? Anything else you want to tell the people out there? I do have Phil's channel pinned for anybody who's going to come in and watch this secondary. Like after the live. That's my partner there, Primetime Phil. Go subscribe to his channel, please. Thank you.
Yeah, man, I appreciate. I appreciate when we come in, we start talking about this. Like this kind of helps me through the off season. We talking football, talking about potentials, and I think it's kind of nice to get this out there because when the season starts to come, it's not really going to be surprised when some of these guys are on the hot seat or they're being asked to do things, or maybe they're not stepping up, and guys like Josh Ball are being finally cut, and injuries do happen. So where is those? Where are those going to kind of affect us? I'm interested in things that we didn't talk about. With the tight end position where Stevens is coming back, where he had a big thing last year in training camp. You hear big thing. Sorry, pause. But then you have a wide receiver in Ryan Florney that's been doing some amazing stuff. But again, it's training camp. And anytime we've gotten excited about a wide receiver in training camp, it just hasn't panned out. So I want to hold that off and just hope that he does it in the preseason and really shows that he can be a heck of a, fourth, fifth wide receiver. But it's going to be a heck of a battle because I think we have some really good guys. Again, maybe not Pro Bowl potential guys, but guys that can at least catch the ball. Noah Brown,
Yeah,
so.
right.
So that's all I have for you guys. But I'm hoping by the time the next time we come into the show, we're talking maybe a new contract with some of these star players.
Yes, man, I hear you. I don't know that we're going to see anything done before training camp. But I'll be back next Wednesday. Obviously, you guys will see me every day with my morning drive. You'll see me with my lunchtime chat. I am off tomorrow, but I'm going to do something from the house here. Listen, everybody, I've been doing some Eagles content. I'm going to dig more into it. It's my local area, so I will, listen, when you live here, that's all they're talking about. And I know they're drumming up stuff, but there's stuff to talk about if you're an Eagle fan. And as a Cowboy fan looking outside in, it's kind of interesting because you think all is well, but then we forget that they stumbled down the stretch. Nick Sirianni is, believe it or not, he's on the hot seat. Whether we think he should be or not, he is. He had to give a dig. He had to give another dig with a Giants fan, and this kind of rubs people the wrong way. I know it's fun and games. You know how he gets when he's in a tunnel and he starts going back and forth with the fans. I don't know what's up with him, but
I think Rob A's right when he says that like Cooks being signed, that's something that they could possibly do. That would be something they do. You would be like, oh, you would see a lot of people jump on that. And of course, Cowboy fans, there'd be negative about it and stuff, which is understandable.
Yeah.
But that's just something move that,
Nice
that
glimmer,
would happen. That could definitely happen.
Yeah, but I mean, like he was calling out a Giants fan and we stole your best player.
Oh, yeah. Well, again, he gets very brave once he gets down to the tunnel.
Man, dude, you got to learn how to judge the crowd. It's not even football season. Again, this ain't arena football. Singletary. Giants went out and got Devin Singletary. I got news for you. I don't know that it's going to be much of a drop-off from a guy who's, and I'm not trying to dig you guys. Yeah, there's a big upside with Barkley, but he gets hurt all the time. We'll see what he does behind that really good offensive line with Philly. That's the only thing I'll tell you guys. He never had that with the Giants. So let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. But here, the good thing is, Phil, is that we're going to know sooner or later. All the talking will be put aside, and we're going to know exactly what and Twiz, you remember last year, Twiz, you gave me a hard time when I said that Dallas would start off slow. You remember that, Twiz? And you're already making excuses. But Dallas did start off slow offensively. Remember, it took until the bye week where Dak and CD and the offensive coordinator, i.e.,
Shit, even Brandon Cooks being thrown
yeah, they
to,
all
like,
had to get into a room on like over the bye week and change some shit up that wasn't working. That's when you saw CD going in the slot to put him in motion, more motion. NFL these days is all about pre-snap motion if you want to be successful. Unless a team like Philly, I know I'm getting long-winded, but a team like Philly has two number one options on either outside. Now, it's hard to stop both. And if you're going to put all your eggs in that basket, then a Dallas Goedert will kill you up the seam. Dallas never really had that last year. I'm not saying years ago with Amari.
No, you're right. You're very right.
I mean, it's easier to shut a guy down like CD. If you want to call him a slot receiver, that's your opinion. I don't really care, honestly. He's a hell of a receiver. That's all I know. I'm glad he's on my team. So, but with that being said, everybody, that's it for me. I will talk to everybody tomorrow. Phil, we'll see you hopefully next Wednesday. And just remember one thing, people. We still them boys. So whatever. It's been a while, but we them boys. Ooh, I wonder if that was a I wonder if you guys here. I want to do it. Just see if there's an echo. Like, is that an echo? Check. All right.
I don't hear an echo.
Yeah, I'll watch it back. All right, everybody. I will talk to everybody tomorrow. Peace out, everybody. See ya.
Hey, man.
What?
I'm cool. This is me. We're gonna jump on that spaceship and get out of here. Let's go.
No judgment. Shoot.
Get to smash that subscribe button. You know what? I'm gonna give it. I'll give it 4 out of 5 avocados. Korg?
I was raised by avocados.
Oh my God! Just kill me now.
Ho, ho, ho.
Green Giant.
Hey! We know each other. He's a friend from work.
I think it's going really well. I know. This is literally the first time I took my gun out of the holster. Right.
And that is why we need a triumphant video.
You guys led us to this. Thank you.
Game time, Brian. Hey, Mark, is that the guy coming on? Hey, Mark, you can bring DFW and the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and it won't matter. You haven't done dick in 30 years. The Pet Rock and the Chia Pet were more famous than Dallas in the last 25 years. Who are you kidding? The Chia Pet is more famous than the Cowboys in the last 30 years. The Chia Pet.